Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and I have a pretty cool new playlist that I'm creating for you guys because I wanted to offer you some variety. Over the past few months, due to this whole COVID crap, my virtual training sessions have increased, so I wanted to share some of those with my followers and subscribers. I've had the opportunity to help people all over the world thanks to technology, and we've covered all sorts of behaviors and training topics. So I decided to pop these up on YouTube because I know it's going to help a lot of people out who are experiencing the same things in their home with their dogs. And the topics in today's video that I'm sharing with you are and as always, if there are any topics, behaviors, or training questions that you guys are experiencing that you need answered or help on, please drop a comment below or hit me up on my social media links as well. That's also in the description. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this video consult.
Okay. How are you?
Doing all right.
Good, good. Okay, so he's a year old.
Yep.
And how long has he been with you?
I drove to Northern Maine to pick him up on Tuesday morning. He had been at a shelter in Northern Maine for 2 weeks. And it took us about a week. We stopped and stayed with two of my different children, one in Bangor and then one in the Boston area, now back in here in Philly.
Okay.
So
and
we've
so,
only been here at the house for 1 day.
Oh, so 1 day he's been there then?
Here at my house. He's been with me for about a week.
Okay.
Since Tuesday. It's been a week. Yeah, today's Tuesday, right? Yeah.
Yep.
1 full week.
Gotcha. Okay, and what kind of dog is he? He's a pit?
He's a pit boxer mix.
Yeah, he looks a little mixy. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, okay. And now, do you have other animals in the house?
No, it's just me. I'm the only human. He's the only other mammal.
Okay, good. All right. So day one, tell me a little bit about how he's settling into the house, the environment when there's no distractions.
Sure. He is right at my side. He wants to lay his head on my lap. But even the slightest sound that catches, especially if he's like in that dozing kind of spot where he's half asleep, will bring him into full alert, and he just like goes toward whatever door, window he thinks it came from in full bark. You know, he's scared. You can tell he's scared, but it's like an aggressive, scared kind of thing. When we go walk out around, I've taken him for walks around the area and things like that. He generally ignores most people, most dogs. He might kind of notice, but for the most part, he generally just ignores. If people try to stop and talk to me, though, he doesn't like that at all. He doesn't lunge towards them or pull towards them, but he definitely barks assertively.
So what, if he's not advancing towards the person, what makes you think it's assertive?
More because of the vocalization, and maybe that's just his voice.
The sound of his bark
is really, is really loud, fervent. I can't think of any way to. Okay. It's not just sort of like I've had other dogs before, and there's a variation in their bark. You know, sometimes it's kind of just alert, and sometimes it's a little more warning, and his is more warning.
Okay, so let's change our thoughts about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
We don't know if it's aggressive.
Okay.
We don't know if it's assertive. It's probably not assertive because he's not advancing. In all likelihood, he's communicating some discomfort and anxiety.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
This could just be his voice. You know,
right.
This is my voice. I can change it if I want, but you know, at the end of the day, this is still my voice, right?
That's right. Yeah.
You know, much like I'm sure you've had dogs that play growl.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And how many times have you heard someone say, "Oh my God, my dog growls when they play," and your first thought is, "They're just playing."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So let's just reset our mind and say, you know what? He's communicating. he's uncomfortable in that situation right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so, and he may very well, assimilate to your environment and grow up mature, and you might be right. He might be like, yeah, get away from me. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think your read on it is more accurate, that it's more a sense of discomfort.
Yeah. And when we look at vocalizations, like technically right now, you and I are growling at each other.
Yeah.
Right. We're communicating, and if I was going to be emphatic about a point, oh, that face.
Is he sweet boy? Is he sweet or what? You're going to be part of the meeting. You want to talk? Play pumpkin. Yeah,
Cool.
he's a sweet pig.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway,
So much like another form of dog communication that is often misinterpreted by humans is when their hair stands up on their back.
Yeah, yeah.
Right away, people say, "Oh, that dog is on edge, is ready to attack."
Yeah.
Right? Well,
Yeah.
it's called piloerection, and at face value, all that means is that the dog is in a stimulated state of mind, not
Okay.
necessarily good or bad. I've seen dogs that are super happy and go lucky, but their hair stands up when they play because they're stimulated, right? So one form of vocalization or body language by itself is not the whole picture, right?
Okay.
So the next time this happens, what I need you to do is to gather information is when he's growling or barking during those episodes, meeting people, or whether you stop on the street, just take a quick snapshot of his body language. Are his ears back and flat? Is his tail low? Right?
Mm-hmm.
If that accompanies the bark, then okay, he's uneasy. He doesn't know what to do in that situation.
I actually have noted his tail, and people have actually commented, people who are not, that are generally kind of more comfortable with dogs have commented, his tail is actually kind of pulled right up underneath him.
There you go.
So
he is not confident. He is not sure. And if he is really a year old, he's immature still anyway.
Yeah.
So have an immature rescue dog who in all likelihood wasn't socialized properly when he was a puppy, because we know that rescue pups rarely are. That's probably why a lot of them wind up in shelters, right?
Right.
Then he's immature. He's been on the road for 6 days with some lady he doesn't know in multiple environments.
That's right.
And now he's home, but he doesn't know that.
He doesn't know that. Exactly. He doesn't.
Yeah. So I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I think it's good that his body language is exhibiting some anxiety for us to be able to have tangible evidence of what he's thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's vocalizing as well, right?
Yeah.
It's the dog that doesn't show body language, that doesn't vocalize, and just reacts and aggresses.
Right.
I hate to use the A word, but is aggressive and goes towards to do harm to someone. That's the dog I'm worried about, more so than the dog that actually vocalizes and gives us signals.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's just for you, because now, and as I was talking about, I saw your eyes, you were like, okay, yeah. And now when you're walking him, and it's not like you have to be paranoid, you're going to be taking quick snapshots of his body language as you're walking. You want to be focused on your walk. You don't want to be staring at him, because then you're missing out on what's going on in the environment.
Sure.
But just quick snapshots, right?
Okay.
Is the tail low? Is it tucked? Is it out a little? Day 3 or 4, is the tail coming out a little more like a tail should, right? As he gets acclimated to your environment. So, and how familiar are you with allowing dogs time to decompress?
That's this is my first rescue dog. Any other dog we've owned pretty much from when they were little puppies.
Okay. So I have 2 videos on my YouTube channel on decompression.
Okay.
One is a short video. I think it's like 17 minutes. The other one was a live Facebook event that I did. I go into a little more detail, but I mean, we'll touch on some things right now, obviously, because we're here. Why not, right?
Awesome.
Yeah. Are you on Facebook a lot or social media?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw some time ago last year, there was this meme going around that it takes dogs 3 days to feel this way, 3 weeks to feel this way, and 3 months to feel that way.
I just actually stumbled on it yesterday, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So that is great for some people to understand. Superficially, it takes time.
Right.
What I tell people is get rid of the 3 in front of all those things, because each dog is an individual like we are, right? Environment, age, socialization, training, all those things come into play. The handler, the owner, right? All these things will affect positively or negatively 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months.
Sure.
Right? We could do everything perfectly, but the dog still might need time to acclimate to every single environment and situation that we expose them to over the course of their early time with us.
Sure.
So so I'll send you those 2 videos so you can take a peek at that at your leisure.
That sounds great. Yeah, I'd love.
But generally, what we want to do is we want to, number one, does he know obedience? Any obedience commands, sit or down?
He does. He sits. He sits before he gets his dish without. I didn't have to even teach him that. It was already there. He walks well on a leash. He knows lay down to some degree.
Okay. So that's good. So now he's offering a sit before you even put that food bowl down, right?
Yep.
So he has learned to earn the privilege of eating, right? So the best thing you could do for him immediately is to implement that in his entire life. We call that resource control. Okay. Nothing in life is for free. You probably have heard it mentioned that way.
Right.
Okay. So if he doesn't do something, he doesn't get anything.
Okay.
So right there, when he came up to you and you kind of called him up and were petting him,
yeah,
fine. Make him sit before you engage in that physical affection, right?
Okay.
So
sure.
You're still spoiling the hell out of him, but it's kind of on our terms, and he has to perform to earn that privilege.
I like that. Yeah. Thank you.
That's going to just stimulate his mind a little bit. It's going to, and especially when we rescue dogs, and I'm a trainer and I've been in rescue since 2002, but we all make the mistake of feeling bad, right?
Right. Exactly.
What their past was.
Right.
I don't care
who,
we're all guilty of it, right? Thank God, because we're human. But I tell people all the time, the best thing we could do for our dog's future is to forget about their past.
Okay.
Be here and now with them. Make him work for things. If he kind of knows down, maybe spend a couple of minutes a day doing a little more luring with treats to get him to down more.
Okay.
Right? Again, stimulating his mind. He's working for you. And if he's food motivated, clearly he's affection motivated.
Yeah. He's
good.
Very affection motivated. Yeah.
Right. So work him any way you can in that regard. As far as walks go, you already had him out in the neighborhood a little bit.
Yep.
One thing you want to be aware of is when you take him out that front, before you go out the front door, right? Obviously make him sit, put the leash on him because he has to earn the privilege of the leash.
Yep.
Take a quick snapshot of his body language. Make sure he's standing up so you kind of see his tail. Open that door, walk down the stairs, take another quick snapshot of his body language.
Okay.
And do that a couple of houses away and compare those 3 different stages of his body language.
Okay.
Generally, you'll see a lot more relaxed and confident in the house, a little anxious on the front step, a little more anxious further away, right?
Yeah.
That's generally how it goes. So, and then that'll give you an idea of his ability to overcome his anxiety as the days go by. So what you want to do is you don't want to take him 6 miles around the neighborhood the first few days.
Right.
Keep him in his comfort zone. Right? Okay. Now, clearly he's going to be a little anxious on the walk, and that's okay. It's to be expected. But maybe you're just walking 4 houses that way, 4 houses that way. Maybe stop every so often, give him a sit command, give him a treat, and just kind of walk him a few houses away. Let him, because that's his new environment, right? Let him get used to that environment. You got to crawl before you could walk, etc.
Right. Okay.
So, and you're a single caregiver, which is good. So there's not a whole lot going on in your house, which is probably going to benefit you and him as far as relationship goes.
Sure.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, he's with you a day. We don't know anything about him.
Right. That's what it's like, that unknownness about who he is. Like what's his, is I think the thing that really prompted me to reach out, because I don't trust him yet. I don't know. I can't predict at all how he's going to react to anything.
Right. And he's not so sure about his new living situation either.
Right. And conversely, I don't want to, because I don't know, kind of impose on him a belief that he's going to be scary or he's going to do things. You know what I mean? And I feel like that can, I wanted to make sure and get some outside help quickly because I didn't want it to get to be a problem and then have to double back and
I mean, and these are all normal human emotions that most people who adopt a dog, especially an older puppy, in this case older puppy, young adult, right? He's a big boy. It's not like he's an 8-pound Shih Tzu where
exactly.
we might be a little more cavalier about working with, right? Because the fact of the matter is that when he is 3 years old, he's going to be a very capable dog.
Yeah.
Regardless of what breed he is, he's a big boy. So.
Right. When should I attempt to introduce him to other dogs? Like, when should that be something?
So the rule of thumb with decompression is that he needs to decompress and acclimate to his environment and his primary handlers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You have to establish those things.
Okay.
Now, walks are a big part of that,
mm-hmm.
right? But again, we have to do that piecemeal as well, like I just talked about.
Sure. Yep,
right?
yep.
Little by little. First we got to do 4 houses before we can do 4 miles.
Right.
To give him more confidence. And because it's not just confidence about the environment and further away from home, it's also his confidence in you as a handler.
Sure.
So that all comes into play. So, and there's no timetable on it, but as you feel you two are becoming more of a partnership,
mm-hmm.
And do you have any information as far as how he's been with other dogs?
I have nothing. The woman that was taking care of him, I already know she lied to me about a few things, so I don't trust her because I asked her about that when I picked him up if she had any knowledge, and she said, "Well, he didn't cage fight," so that doesn't really tell me.
She had no information. I'm not sure.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Let's just go with that. She doesn't have any information.
Yeah. So I mean, and I'm just speaking because like sometimes rescues. Other rescues, I obviously have a rescue, but I'm also a trainer. So I have rescues that send me dogs to train.
Right.
And, sometimes the dog leaves here and they're like, Jeff, the dog's doing this. And I'm like, she never did that here.
Sure.
So I don't have I don't say that can't happen because I know that it certainly can happen. Right.
Sure.
It didn't happen here, so maybe she just didn't experience whatever it was. So, so we'll go with that. And it's more so for us, so we don't have any stuff in our head, any preconceived notions of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't really have any. I know that he was his original owners. He had a lot of stuff going on with a vet. He did have a pretty decent vet file. And they had given him to somebody who was really not capable of, really was into drugs and stuff like that, because he killed a new kitten in the family.
Okay.
And then his trauma really happened in living in that drug situation.
Right. So so as you get more comfortable, do you have a friend that has a solid, friendly dog?
No, I don't. I have my daughter, our dog that we've had since she was a baby is older now and not really healthy. She's just kind of becoming snippety as in her old age.
How old?
She's 11. She's a shepherd. She has, what's the proper name for dog EMS? Is there a name for that? You know what I'm talking about? Like the nerve degeneration, like she can't.
Yeah, I forget what the medical term is.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about.
So, does she still walk the dog or not anymore?
Not so much. She plays in the yard.
Can the dog walk even a short distance?
A short distance, yes. And they have met, though, because it's my daughter. It's one of the places I stayed on the way back. They've met, and it went pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah, like we spent the night there.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to say if it's someone closer to you, walking the dogs every day is the best way to start introducing him to friendly animals.
Right. Yeah.
And again,
we went for a walk together, a short walk, and then she has a huge fenced-in yard, and so we kept them both on leash and just kind of walked them around each other, and then slowly moved towards letting them off leash. Mm-hmm. And still, but just kind of keeping our proximity. Right. So we were sort of spatially keeping them, not necessarily visually, engaged with each other all the time.
Right.
Playing ball with them separately, sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah. It's hard because I don't know him. personally, and I certainly won't know the dog that he's going to be introduced to. The best course of action is if you do find a friendly dog, or even what I call dog neutral, where the dog isn't necessarily friendly, but just ignores other dogs. Getting them to walk together in the same direction is the best way to go about introductions. This way, their heads are, because dogs meeting this way is not always good.
Not a good idea. Yeah,
you want them going in the same direction. And what I tell people too is have a little buffer between the dogs. So have dog, person, person, dog.
Right.
And all four of you are walking in the same direction.
Yeah.
With a little buffer, right? Because that's step one. Let's get them walking. Let's get them settled on the walk. Being together is a non-event, as opposed to a good or a bad event, right?
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because we're always preoccupied with bad introductions. Well, you can also have bad good introductions where the dogs just go crazy with each other, and then it's a friggin' shit show when they see each other because they're so happy to see each other, but they're dragging the people down the street.
Yes.
So no, a non-event is better than either or.
Anything extreme.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. That's that's kind of how I approach it, is let's just make this a matter of fact event, and then we'll work on friendship, right? Let's coexist, and then we'll work on friendship, right?
Sure.
And for all we know, he could be super happy-go-lucky with dogs and we'll never have an issue, but you're right to ask. Let's do it slowly, again, because it's day one. We don't even
right. And I don't want to set any just because he's nervous and anxious. I don't want to create something.
And anything he does right now towards other dogs or people, we can't even take that at face value.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. I mean, we have to gather that information because it's important for us to have that information at our disposal, but we can't overreact to whatever information we receive right now. It's just too early.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, start working him every day in the house. A lot of treat training, right? Sit down, come, work on the down. I'm sure he'll come to you when called. You're already implementing resource control with his feeding. He's already offering, which is great. But if he likes a toy, or you're going to give him like a cow ear or something to chew on, make him earn that privilege, right? And again, just now he jumped up on you. You missed an opportunity.
I didn't stop because I didn't want to interrupt you. I thought about it too. I'm like, I don't want to interrupt him.
Yeah, that's okay. As long as it's in your forefront.
I thought of it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, and because it's not just about creating habits in them, it's also about creating habits in us.
Sure.
Right? So, and I also have a 7-day dog care challenge on my YouTube. Basically, you implement one thing every day to enrich the dog's life and improve relationship.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to wait 7 days. You can just watch him and start doing it. Like,
Yeah, that's awesome.
My
dog's gonna die.
So what's that? Well, it looks like we lost Michelle. I think her phone died. So I will follow up with her via email and help her through the early decompression stages of her new pup. And I will certainly email her my other videos that will help supplement the call that we just had. And I will touch base with her, and I'm sure we'll have her back on for a video consult. And I'll be sure to post a follow-up video when I do follow up with her. So.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and listen, if this is your first time here, take a peek around my channel. If you like what you see, consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that bell so you get notified when I upload new content, and I'll see you guys soon.